Hey guys, that was my attempt at Lula Lou, a song by Capo, and it's a great tune. I enjoyed playing it. But more importantly, it uses a capo. And that's our discussion today. I had a question from a student that was very interesting, and it's a common question. What does the capo do to the names of the chords that we play? And that's a great question, and it's kind of complicated, but it's an important one, and I'll explain why in a moment. But first, we have to understand what the capo is actually doing. See, the capo is like a movable nut. See, the nut's job is to allow strings to ring out open. Okay? And when we play open chords, some of the notes are passing through our fingers and getting all the way to the nut, and they're ringing open. Some notes are fretted, some notes are open. Okay? And open chords are simply chords that have at least one note that's ringing out open against the nut. In other words, it has at least one note that isn't fretted, like this G and this high E. Okay? So an open chord has at least one open note. But the problem with open chords, they're great and they're pleasant to listen to, is that they're stuck in the mud, right? They're stuck back here, in the first few frets, right? We can't really use them anywhere else. But that's a shame because we know them so well. That's where the capo comes in. So the capo allows us to change what the definition of open is. Open used to be back here, but now that I put the capo on the 3rd fret, open is now here at the 3rd fret. That allows us to recycle old chord shapes. Ones that previously couldn't move out of this position, now they can, because open is now here, and so we can move our C chord here, for example. So that's great. Now I've used C chord and I get a higher pitched version of this grip. That's great. Okay? And the same goes no matter where we put it. This is now at the 7th fret. I'm going to use the same C chord. I get a higher version of that same grip. It's fantastic. But that's not really the question, is it? We know that. The question is this still a C chord? I mean, I'm thinking of it as C. It certainly looks like a C. It feels like a C. I'm thinking of it as C. But if I were in a band and I played this chord and I wanted my bandmates to sound good with me, I certainly wouldn't want to call this a C chord. It would confuse everybody because this isn't a C anymore. Which may be obvious to some of you, but for some of you it may not be. See, the name of this chord has changed because the position in which we played it changed. So, what do we call it? How do we get to the new name? Well, it's quite simple. We simply look at which number fret we're on, 3. And we move the name of the chord that we know, C, up 3 half steps. The same number as the frets that we're on. So we're on the 3rd fret, we're going to move up 3 half steps. So, the first half step would get us from C to C sharp. The second half step would move us from C sharp to D, and then the 3rd half step would move us from D to D sharp. I'm going to use a better name for that. I'm going to use E flat, same thing, D sharp to E flat, but E flat's a better name. You don't see D sharp chords very often. You see E flat chords quite often. So E flat. So we've moved it from C to C sharp, that's 1, C sharp to D, that's 2, and D to E flat, that's 3. We moved it 3 half steps, the same number of half steps as the numbered fret we're on. And that's the name of the chord. We are now playing not a C chord, but an E flat chord. Okay? And that's what I would tell my band. I'm playing an E flat chord. That same method could be used to describe the entire key of the song. This song, Lula Lu, is in the key of C. In my mind, but with the capo, because it's on the 3rd fret, it's not C, but rather C to C sharp to D, D to E flat. 3 half steps because I'm on the 3rd fret. This song is in the key of E flat major. Alright, so I hope that helps you out. Let me know if you have any questions. Until next time.